chat, I'm back. We're back with our Toxic Yuri game. My voice has been a bit weird today, so sorry if it comes through. uh, I have water, so hopefully that'll make it less unbearable. But I want to play, so we're playing. 22. Let me pull up chat. Hell yeah. And remember we left off right when Emma was about to introduce a new witness or something? It was something like that. If it loads, you know. Hold on. Was that the wrong one? I feel like that was the right one. Was it supposed to be this one? Did it not save properly last time? It definitely wasn't this. Oh. 0213. It was this one. I just hit the wrong save. My bad. I forgot what was the last time. The people call Helen Young to the stage. To the stand. Not stage. Helen Young, Vice President of Android Futures at Noble Electronics, Eastern Division. The game's going well. I love this game so much. Hi Ollie. This is my Toxic Yuri, evil defense attorney game that I've been playing. Hold on, let me pull up Morgan. This is our character. She's our little defense attorney. She's a criminal. She's a murderer. Amazing. I love her so much. She's an icon. And then this lady in the background, Emma Rockford, is the prosecutor who is currently going up against me. No, but they're gay for each other. Oh yeah, the criminal and defense attorney typically don't go together. And then defense attorney, criminal defense attorney, ex-prosecutor also typically don't go together, and I love them. They're so gay for each other. This is the Toxic Yuri part. But yeah, we're a serial killer. Strangely, that hasn't been like a huge like part of this part yet. I'm sure it'll become like really big. It's just been like, haha, yeah, like who could imagine killing anyone? But anyways, she has been defending Dr. David Asher. This guy's dead. And she was like proving that his death wasn't a suicide, because that's what it kind of looked like. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. However, we think it's like we personally think it was his company that killed him, so they could have access to all of his intelligence like property. Because they would have lost it if they fired him, but he was being a problem. However, everyone else thinks he was killed by Sarah, which is this robot, and also his daughter. Um, so everyone's else is trying to prove that she murdered him, which would also, yeah, dude, you have no idea how bad this company is. It's so gross. But anyways, Sarah is a robot. However, she's like, she's like a human basically. She's a human, but like robot. She doesn't have to follow any of her tenets, which are like the rules that things have to follow. So we're trying to prove that she's not AI, as they call it. It's a very complicated game, but I love it so much. It's so good. And we're in the middle of proving that Sarah is innocent and proving that Morgan is also innocent for owning an AI, because that's really illegal. Sadly, we have found like an audio recording from David admitting that she's an AI and admitting that he also made like 300 AI things. It's a lot, but it's so good, and this world is really messed up, and it's kind of terrifying at times, but you know. Also, sorry if my voice is weird. It's been weird all day. Miss Young, you were there the night Dr. Asher died, and you were on camera the entire time. That's correct. So, what did you see that night? I arrived at 7:30 p.m., as you know. David and I talked in the parlor, and then he left to retrieve some refreshments for us. After drinking together for a short while, he fell ill. I contacted emergency services, and I'm sure you're all tired of hearing the same details over and over by now. The same details over and over aren't going to hold up anymore, Madame Veep. It's still unclear to me whether Young's more concerned with protecting herself or the almighty company. It'll clear up real fast if I can turn up the pressure on her here and now. Journal, meeting, or the ritual. We chatted for a short while. Offered to fetch us some. Shared a drink. Didn't notice anything strange. Good up until he was gone. She's trying to paint a different picture of what happened that day. I can't let her set the tone as she pleases. So, I forgot what the things were. It was journal. Uh-oh. Hold on. It was journal, meeting, or the ritual. Okay. Let's... Low priority work. It wasn't low priority. Was it? I don't think it was. Anything strange. Okay, let's call this one, because I'm pretty sure this is wrong. And it was the meeting. Yeah! Nothing heavy. You're both more professional than I realized. Since only hours earlier you had run a meeting in which his employment was terminated. His employment wasn't terminated at the arbitration you're referring to, his resignation was merely agreed upon. Yes, and we can all imagine how grateful he felt about the whole process. David didn't hold grudges. Our conversation wasn't about that. The fact that you had fired him that afternoon didn't come up. Asked and the wrong voice. Asked and answered. Who initiated the meeting at his penthouse? I arrived unannounced. Rude! Never do that. Don't do that. Oh, the ritual? That wasn't a company thing. That was their little, like, ritual they did. They're, like, longtime friends. Longtime, like, work friends. Whenever they, like, get a drink together, they do a little ritual, which is exclusively drinking alcohol from plastic, like, the plastic red cups, even though they're, like, rich people who definitely have better glasses than that. So it's not like company, that part wasn't company related. So you weren't invited. Very cordial indeed. If he didn't want to see me, he could have stopped me at the elevators. Could he have? Noble owned that entire building down to the wiring. Counsel is badgering the witness, Your Honor. Huh? Right, should we execute her for that then? No need. If I can just continue my questioning, we can finally start addressing the elephant in the room. Where? I love this character so much. She's a robot that is a judge, but she's like kinda malfunctioning. And it's just so funny. Ah, I see. That was merely a joke. She's great at it. Hilarious. Miss Young, Noble Electronics owns a patent for and produces synthetic biochemical known as synatonin, correct? Ollie, synatonin was the poison that killed Dr. David. That's correct. It is used in our warm models to facilitate integration and communication between organic and synthetic components. It's an artificial neurotransmitter. Essentially, yes. Synthetic analog serotonin was the original name. Did you bring the sample that I requested to the courtroom today? I did. Synatonin is produced on-site at our assembly lines as a caramel-tinted solution, including water and few non-reactive organic byproducts. I feel like she would say caramel, though. As a caramel-tinted... I hate the word caramel. Your analysis, Your Honor. Working on it, it's odorless and tasteless. A solution of water and organic byproducts, you said. If that solution were ingested, most of it would look right at home in a human body. I suppose. But the synatonin would stand out, wouldn't you say? It's not a naturally occurring compound, so yes. And it's a perfect match for the substance previously labeled Delta. And the sample we collected from the nanofacturer's preset in Dr. Asher's lab? That's a bingo! The witness's brown stuff matches your brown stuff down to the T. In light of this evidence, and the witness's testimony, I motion that the court formally recognize that Dr. Asher's cause of death was synatonin poisoning. I don't object, Your Honor. But I'm afraid that I must. Excuse me? Synatonin may very well have been in his body when he died, but synatonin didn't kill Dr. Asher. What? The hell is she up to? It couldn't have. It couldn't kill anybody. What? Because it's non-toxic, of course. We designed it to affect androids, not people. Hold on. You're now claiming that Dr. Asher died of what? Natural causes? I can't say what he died of. I'm not a medical expert. But I can easily prove that serotonin is harmless. How could you... like... so? Oh, this game is so pretty. That was giving, In Stars in Time, though. The bright red background. Ah. Huh? Didn't see that one coming. What? What? Oh, this is the other, like, judge, but, like, the human one, because the other one's slightly incompetent. That ain't good. Bailiff, contact the hospital immediately. I told you it's fine, but I can stand here all day if necessary. What in the... And what you just drank was several hundred times the amount found in Dr. Asher's body. Why didn't you say anything until now? Noble Electronics is a mutilation. Multinational corporation with patents filed all over the world. We take the protection of our trade secrets very seriously. The production and nature of serotonin is closely guarded. That guard remains up even during a murder investigation. Unfortunately, I would have been able to tell you earlier had you asked directly. What the hell kind of... This can't be right. Nothing else makes sense. Boy howdy, I'm lost as hell. But do you have any further questions, Rocky Ford? Not at the moment, Your Honor. And the defense? The prosecution's own witness just threw the entire case into question. Normally, this would be cause for celebration, but shadow of doubt isn't enough this time. Burroughs would much rather bring down the gavel early than let a potential AI walk free. What Young did was shocking, but what I need to do hasn't changed. Think through this logically. Is it really possible that serotonin had nothing to do with David's death? No, that's bullshit. It can't be a coincidence. There's nothing else that would have killed him. But Young just drank serotonin in front of us and she's fine. So, was it fake? No, it was confirmed by the court computer to be the genuine article. So she drank poison but isn't showing any symptoms. Is it slow acting? If so, her grand gesture would be pointless. She'll be kept for observation regardless of what happens next. Did she take some kind of antidote beforehand? No, antidotes are developed for poisons, not industrial chemicals. Hi, Sotera! Ooh, yeah. Reacted with alcohol is probably... Good call. David's dead. She's alive. What made the difference? Wake up! No sleeping on the job. You are such a hypocrite. We've come back to you sleeping several times and playing on your Switch. I hate this lady. I don't. She's like my favorite. She's so funny. Unless you're me. See? Of course, Your Honor. Allow me one moment to explain things to the court. We've confirmed just now that serotonin was the foreign compound in his body. And we all know, logically, it must have been what killed David Asher. So what's the key difference between what David drank last night and what she drank in front of us just now? Water glass, emergency console, chromifuge, and the whiskey. It has to be the whiskey. I'm up in my bid, because I'm also really low on health. So I can only get this wrong a few times, and I'm like, oh, pretty 100% sure that this is the thing. All in! Everything goes really well for me whenever I go all in. The difference has been staring us in the face this whole time. Do you recognize this, Miss Young? That's the whiskey bottle that Dr. Asher and I drank from. Rose River. It's a good whiskey. And I think you had the right idea. Pardon? Bottoms up. Pretty. Sorry. Smooth. What? Adonai? Dear God, Counselor. Scandalous. Relax, it's just whiskey. Tested a dozen times over, perfectly safe. So would you like to try some, Miss Young? Don't be absurd. I'm not going to drink on the witness stand. Have you lost your mind? I'm not asking you to get plastered. Just have a sip. After all, we want to prove whether or not the Cinetonin killed Dr. Asher. We have to recreate the conditions under which he ingested it by mixing it with alcohol. She's sweating! Go ahead then. Just a taste. Prove to us that Cinetonin is perfectly safe for human consumption. Is this... Can she do this? Miss Young. I never said it was safe for human consumption, just that it's non-toxic. A distinction without a difference. You saw firsthand Dr. Asher confused, slurring his speech, complaining of headache, all symptoms of poisoning. Alcohol poisoning, that is. Cinetonin is a neurotransmitter analog. Maybe it doesn't do anything in the human body on its own, but in combination with alcohol, it acts as a powerful depressant. One strong enough to turn a glass or two of whiskey into a lethal overdose. That's just... Even if that is the case, what does it change? It changes whether or not we can accept the witness's testimony. Even if this witness is a liar, what does that change? Why would the witness lie if not to? She's a corporate climber. I imagine it's like breathing for her. Your Honor, this is wild, but ultimately irrelevant. Irrelevant? When you've yet to establish an alternative interpretation of the facts. Yes! What are you even accusing the witness of doing, Counselor, beyond angling for a promotion? We've all seen the story by now. Noble android saves soldier's life with warm blood transfusion. They're talking about putting warm androids in the military just because of that headline. With the size of their flesh and blood price tag, a defense contract like that would secure Noble untold profit for years. So imagine the lengths they'd go through to hide the fact that their androids have poison in their veins. Dawes told me to tell the truth about what Noble really thinks of that article, but he'd never testified to it. At least I know for sure Emma's wrong about this poisoned blood nonsense. And you think she'd, perjure... I don't know how to say that word. Herself for that? She's a high-powered corporate executive. It's her job to assess risk versus reward. And she can afford the fine. As I said, it's not truly poisonous. And the chances of cross-contamination from a single plasma transfusion are... Damn, now she's regaining her composure, too. A perjury charge is a real risk, of course, but Noble rewards loyalty. And as you know, they have a great number of lawyers. Plenty of motive to lie about Cinetonin, as you can see. But no motive for her to cover up the death of Noble Electronics' Golden Goose. No motive to kill David Asher, you say? Noble's contract, where it says that Callie Please say hi to Callie for me. I love Callie. Oh my god. But in the contract it says that all of his, like, intellectual property gets given to Noble once he dies, but they'd lose it if he was just fired. There's plenty of motive for her and Noble to want David dead. Seeing as how they were firing him. Noble Electronics was kicking their golden goose out of the nest, suing him over breach of contract. Isn't that right? I don't have to talk about that. That's alright, I'll talk about it for you. Your Honor, counsel is trying to testify when they're supposed to be questioning. The people opened the door when they claimed that the witness had no motive. This is absurd. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sure I can speak for the whole court when I say we feel nothing but reverent awe at the complexity of Noble's legal woes. But I just so happen to have an inkling of insight into this issue, because I have here a copy of Dr. Asher's employment contract. That is confidential. It is completely improper for you. Why? I am still technically his attorney. Criminal attorney. But I didn't just stumble upon this document. I also did the one thing Noble Electronics would never expect anyone to do. I read their terms and conditions. You what? That's impossible. No one could ever. David must have negotiated well at his last performance review. This contract allows him to take his patents with him should he get fired, meaning Noble couldn't monopolize his IP once he was out. Rather than let their competitors have him, the company might have thought it best to. A company didn't poison David Asher, Counselor. An individual did. And if they cared that much about controlling his intellectual property, they wouldn't fire him in the first place. Correct. They wouldn't let him go for anything less than a complete breakdown of trust. He'd have done something grave. Something like, say, committing fraud. Just now you said there was a breach of contract, like it was some kind of technicality that was causing the split. But it was much more serious than that, wasn't it? You're claiming the victim committed corporate fraud. Where's the evidence of that? David created the Turing solution that every one of their androids has run on to this day. And Noble reaped enormous profits capitalizing on his intellectual property. With how his contract was set up, they would never let him go unless they absolutely had to. Then, what exactly do you think David Asher did? It's not what I think that matters, only what the company fears. Hold on, let me look at my evidence. When's the last one actually? Shipping data. Do I have any? Detailing shipping information for several thousand of warm androids sold by Noble, being swapped out for shipping. Shows signs being tampered with, or at least edited fairly recently, something only employees at Evan Dawes level or above could do. It has to be that. It doesn't matter what I believe, not when Noble believed that David was misleading the shareholders. Fraud is really fun, guys. By altering shipment data for the Animate 16. What the hell? What is this you're uploading? Shipping records? Irregularities among shipments of the Animate 16. One android swapped in for another, over and over, dozens of times. The kind of thing someone with Dr. Asher's authority could do. And the kind of thing someone as smart as you couldn't have missed. Dr. Asher made Noble an untold amount of money, so why fire him over a few harmless swaps? Why elevate this to fraud? You have evidence that it was David Asher who did this? Nope, but I wasn't the one who investigated it. So let's ask her. Come on now, let's hear it. Let's. The company investigated and found cause for serious concern. We suspected that Dr. Asher was inserting androids of unknown origin and quality to the 16th product line. Introducing unpredictable elements in an extremely stable and profitable generation of androids. Why would he do that? For pride as a practical joke? Does it really matter he endangered the future of the company? So you're prepared to fire him? Yes, I approached him as his superior, and as someone he'd once worked with, I hope to remedy the situation. Was the meeting on Friday a part of those efforts? It was the culmination of those efforts, and in many ways it was a success. The dispute was resolved swiftly. It was practically friendly compared to how these discussions normally go in our world. So you brokered the meeting. The meeting. Yes. You oversaw its every detail, handled all the arrangements. Yes, of course. Including the refreshments? What? Did you provide coffee, tea? No. Strange, it must have been a long meeting. Surely you at least provided. What would they have at least provided? They probably, but it was, water is what I was thinking. But also, like, I know them, and they're, like, insane, and would also just provide inhalers. Surely you at least provided water for people. What are you asking, counselor? That's what I want to know. Me as well. We're past the point of asking. I'm accusing. Dr. Asher didn't have some kind of freak medical accident, and he wasn't killed by some terrifying two-faced AI boogeyman. He was poisoned by this woman in the light of day at that meeting Friday afternoon. Did she really just... Like, insane! What do you mean poisoned at the meeting? That was hours before he showed any symptoms. As Miss Jung testified and demonstrated, serotonin on its own is harmless. But it becomes fatal pretty easily. You just need to convince your victim to have a drink. You're saying he ingested the poison at noon and it inadvertently triggered a fatal reaction with it that night? How could you get so far ahead of yourself? There were a dozen people at that meeting, counselor. None of them wound up dead. Are you seriously claiming that they all drank poisoned water? All of them drank poison. I mean, I'm gonna, I don't, they didn't all need to drink the poison. But I'm not gonna raise, because that doesn't make sense. Because, they could have just slipped it into his glass. I'm not saying that the water glass was poisoned, just only his cup. I'm not raising. Not for this one. I know, I hate to disappoint you, Sotera. David was the only one to fall ill, so... But he fell ill because he drank from that water. Others must have drunk it too, so... We must... It could have been okay. Me. Take all the time you need getting there. So, why aren't they all dead? Okay, I didn't lose anything. So that's okay. Because, as all those people will surely attest, Helen Young made sure they'd be doing paperwork for the next 12 hours. Working late into the night, officiating the settlement she arranged, and not drinking alcohol. She had no guarantee about that. What if they started drinking after 6? With Noble's work-life harmony, fat chance. These people don't clock out until they reach their bunk. Only a generational talent like David Asher could afford to relax with a drink on a Friday night. His exceptionalism singled him out as her only victim. Hold it. You're forgetting something pretty basic, counselor. If everyone at the meeting drank water from the same pitcher, any one of them would have noticed if there was serotonin in it. Serotonin is a brown fluid. Whiskey is too, so it would be easy to slip it into a glass of liquor. But if she had spiked the water at the meeting with it, it would have looked disgusting. There's no way she could have poisoned the water without people noticing. All of what Emma said is true, and yet Young pulled it off anyway. How? Ew, boo boo, it's probably the chromifuge. It has to be the chromifuge. Serotonin is produced as a caramel solution. Anyone would notice if it was dropped in their water, unless the pigment had been removed. What the hell are you talking about? Every noble factory producing warm androids has a chromifuge, a machine that gives their androids that signature pink oxidant by removing pigment from red blood. With a machine like that, it would be simple for a brilliant biochemist like the witness to take a caramel-colored serotonin and turn it into an odorless, tasteless, invisible poison. As Your Honor can attest. Yes, ma'am. My scan confirmed that serotonin has no taste or odor. It's only the color that's off-putting. Surely the poisonous aspect should be considered off-putting as well. Time to press. David Asher, your oldest ally in the whole company, was sabotaging its future for the sake of his own whimsy. And he couldn't even be bothered to clue you in. No! Playing nutty professor and taking off early while you had to work around the clock just to stay relevant. He set up your crowning achievement, the most advanced, most profitable line of an android the country has ever seen. So it would blow up into the industry fiasco of the decade. And worst of all, he didn't even stand to profit from it. Oh.
Yo, Allie cameo.
Hi, Allie. Oh, goodbye, Allie. You're wrong. You went to his house that night to watch him swallow poison. To get revenge on the man who left you in the dust. Your Honor, defense is testifying. This speculation carries no weight, and no amount of badgering will lend it any. True, we need proof. So why don't we have Miss Young take a swig of this whiskey and prove me wrong? I'm not going to do that. Because you're afraid it could kill you? Because I don't have to. She's right, counselor. Pardon. Your theory is compelling, maybe even convincing. But there's a pretty fatal flaw to it. Young was at that meeting, same as David. We can see she was drinking water with the rest of them. And of course, we've seen it many times now that she was on camera drinking whiskey with David that night, having even finished most of her cup. So tell us, counselor, how is it that Miss Young is still standing here and David Asher is dead? If both of them had mixed the alcohol with serotonin that night? That is a damn good question. Shots, 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 shots. Shit. As I've been saying, you're wrong about Dr. Asher's death. You're wrong about me. I don't know anything about poison or murder, and I wouldn't kill a man because he threatened the company's stock price. No, she did kill him. I can smell it on her now. She didn't just see him die, she watched him die. But then, why is she still standing? There's no antidote, no trick, and that night she was on camera the entire time. No, not the entire time. She couldn't have been. There must have been one moment. Yeah, there was no cameras in the kitchen. I'm not super confident about this one, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna raise. I'm not gonna raise it to full. Oh wait, I have to put it in order. Oh, that makes me even less. This timeline leaves no window of opportunity, damn it. Maybe she didn't get sick because they got in the hospital so fast. Maybe after she arrived, she could have... No, the staff would have been hyper-vigilant, afraid she was poisoned too. They wouldn't have let her out of their sight. Wait, David and Young only got there as fast as they did because of the VTOL. What was the VTOL again? Let's see. I don't know what that was. Oh well. And the VTOL was only summoned because she used... Would you mind terribly if I changed the subject for just a moment? What? Man, why not? You left the parlor at 8:03 and headed to the kitchen to use the emergency console there. Yes, I did. Didn't want to use your phone? I didn't think to, no. And the emergency call went out at 8:04. The council saw you make the call through its camera. Yes, it did see me make the call because that's what happened. So what were you doing in that minute? I love the judge so much. She's so funny. Like, she said, "The girls are fighting!" one time, and there's another really good quote from her, and I can't remember it right now. But I love her so much. Anyways, murder. So what were you doing in that minute? What? That 1 minute. That 1 minute? What about that 1 minute? 1 minute or 50 seconds or even just 45 seconds. When you left Dr. Asher dying in the parlor to get the emergency console, it took you about 1 minute to cross 5 meters. What of it? This isn't her only opportunity to do anything off camera that night. It was only a few seconds, but in that time, with something at the scene, she I'm sure it was a stressful time for you. After all, you had already swallowed poison back at the meeting. You must have drank plenty in front of everyone to set you up your alibi. Who knows how much of a toxic time bomb was swimming in your blood at the time the arbitration ended. Then at David's, you drowned your whiskey to perfect your alibi, having drank from the same bottle as a dead man walking. By 8:03, you already had to watch David grow weaker and weaker. Knowing all the while the same thing was happening to you, unable to stop it without giving yourself away. Yeah, she had to. There's one of two things. Either it was right at the minute swap, in which case everything Morgan is saying doesn't make any sense. Because, like, if she got up to go to the phone at, like, 8:0, like, 10 seconds before the minute switched, like, this doesn't mean anything. She could have been really fast and just was coincidentally right at the switch of a minute. Or she did something, and it took longer. Mind swimming, head dizzy. Yes, you must have been quite panicked. Then why am I standing here? Alive and well for all of us to see. Having drank the exact same combination as David. Because she cheated death at the very last second. Kitchen sink, water on tap. Water glass. That's a bit. Found in the kitchen, loose cap. I'm assuming it's the water glass. She must have taken, like, a pill or something. The salt sugar has to be something eventually. It could also just be a red herring. I could see that as well. I don't think it's for this, though. It's definitely not the... It could potentially be the upright cup, because this was her cup. And it does say it's half empty or full. So maybe she just didn't drink as much as him. Let's try the water glass. She must have used that glass of water to cheat her fate. Okay. Less. You're crossing your fingers and your toes. I appreciate that. I almost called you Kelsey. So Tara. I was talking to Kelsey a lot today. She didn't need to run into the kitchen. She already had her answer in the palm of her hand. The cup she was drinking whiskey from is the one difference left between she and David. We do love Kelsey. She was telling me earlier that she was scared to join, like, stream because she felt like she didn't have anything to add. Which is so silly because I'm the one streaming and I feel like I don't add anything to the streams. I know, right? Like, even Allie just popping in being like, hi, goodbye. Like, that, it's just silly. But then, like, Kelsey is amazing. I love having her in calls. Like, she told me earlier today that she doesn't join. Yeah. So Tara, you tell her that you also would love her to join stream, because it's amazing. Dude, I love Kelsey so much, man. We've eliminated the impossible, so we must conclude that the plastic lining her cup denatured the alcohol in her drink. What? I I don't know. I don't. I wasn't saying that it was the plastic. I was saying that it was she didn't drink as much as him. Home remedy-ish way to counteract poisoning in the kitchen. Is it the salt? I don't know what Morgan is on. I've never heard of salt being... But I don't know why it would be the refrigerator. Nor it being the kitchen sink. I think it... Hold on. Google, does salt help with poison? Not poison ivy, just poison. I'm not seeing anything for that. Wait. Is it, alcohol poisoning? Consuming fluids that... Okay, consuming fluids that contain minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and sodium may help restore balance after drinking. I'm going to go with the poison because I don't know why it would be the sink. And I don't know why it would be the refrigerator. And the cap is loose, so maybe she untwisted it and then put it back on in a hurry. You set yourself up with bad luck, Helen Young. What? By leaving the salt shaker cap loose. I don't blame you since you were in a rush to make yourself vomit. What? You threw up, expelling the contents of your stomach and thereby, yeah, saving yourself from a fatal interaction. I can't imagine how you felt, sipping a drink you knew to be deadly, terrified that every minute of grain and every minuscule grain of fatigue you felt could be your last. You must have come closer than anyone realized. It helped that you knew the symptoms weren't simple intoxication, but even so, you weren't kidding about managing risk versus reward. How? It was the salt shaker. You didn't screw the cap back on all the way and I happened to bump it over. The lone glass with your fingerprints in the kitchen could have been there for any reason, but the salt shaker gave you away. Because of one unscrewed cap. As I said, bad luck. I don't follow. Pour salt into warm water and chug the solution. Instantly triggers the gag reflex. That's preposterous. You've got no proof of any of that. You all sound insane. A feeble attempt at self-defense from a fatally cornered animal. The teeth are already on its neck, but the jaw hasn't quite closed. So for one moment, it's all suffocating terror and sharp adrenaline, and the furthest thing from peace. I love it when her eyes go dark. It makes her feel so, like, robotic and inhuman, even though, like, she's more human than Sarah, but Sarah has, like, a more wide array of, like, emotion that you can see, and it's, like, a really cool, it's so good. She's so scary. She's so scary, and I love her so much. Until the canines come down. In summary, she is such a girl boss. You're exhausted after years of living. I love when the color scheme changes. It's my favorite thing. Sorry, I got distracted. You're exhausted after years of living in the shadow of a man you outranked. You thought your fortunes finally shifted when you caught David manipulating the company data. But even on his way out, he was more valuable to the board than you. So you decided to prove your worth by serving up his intellectual property on a silver platter. You set up an arbitration where you could control all the variables. Then you ran serotonin through the chromofuge, turning it into an invisible, odorless, tasteless poison. Purple! Then you spiked the water at the meeting, poisoning him hours before anyone could even suspect you. That evening, you invited yourself to David's taking advantage of the shared ritual to guarantee he would drink alcohol. Purple and pink. Then, after matching him sip for sip on camera for all the world to see, he lost consciousness and you raced to the kitchen, not to use the console, but to dump salt into a glass of water and chug it as fast as you could, forcing yourself to vomit up the liquor and cheating death in the process. That's all conjecture. You don't have a shred of evidence for any of that. Not on me. Boom, 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 bang! Let's go just for fingerprints. You could explain away your prints being found on water glass, but not on the salt shaker. Nor could you explain why we'd find traces of your DNA in the sink drain, or why there are minute amounts of serotonin in the blood of your entire legal team. I learned how to purge at Noble to avoid overdosing on your reds and greens and yellows. You're part of the old guard now, Miss Young. Everyone else at the company uses inhalers. But if you want to prove me wrong about all this, that drink I offered you earlier is still on the table. Well? Any questions? Madame Vice President. You cold bitch! Hell yeah! Let's go! You don't understand. You're not on trial, Mrs. Young. Not today, so I strongly suggest you stop talking. For your own sake. Miss Rockford, shall we? Yes, Your Honor. Considering the most recent evidence and testimony, we have no further reason to suspect the android Sarah in the death of Dr. Asher. We know of no other occasion upon which said android may have broken any tenets. This means it is no longer considered at risk of violating the NDSA. And so we formally withdraw our one charge of possession of contraband against the defendant, Evangeline Morgan. Does she, of all people, have to use my full name? Gay. Oh, she, of all people? Gay. I'm sorry. Very well. Then the charges are dropped without prejudice. I'll instruct the bailiffs to remove the collar from your android as soon as possible. Case... Sorry, is my hideous presence that distracting? I'll go dig a hole and decompose in it until I turn into a mushroom. Maybe if I'm reborn as a waxy porcini, then I won't be quite so despised. Perhaps I should let the adjutant do the honors. as a formality. Yes, ma'am. Case dismissed. I love her. I love her so much. She's so fun. Still here. Waiting for them to find whatever glorified bolt cutters they'll use to unlock Sarah's collar. What's your excuse? Licking your wounds? What wounds? I beat you. Bringing your record against me to 1 win, 9 losses. She's pretty? Who's pretty? The adjutant or Morgan? I don't know who you're talking about, but the answer is yes. All of the women in this game are pretty. You aren't still in shock, are you? Oh, petty. Petty. Yeah, Morgan is really petty. I love her so much. She's like my favorite. I'm normal about everything I've ever interacted with. Anyways. Don't know. Some charges were dropped and an android was cleared of suspicion. But I found the culprit. Is that really a loss for me? I won. How is that not a loss for you? Justice prevailed. Why should I care about who wins? If you don't care who wins, why have you been keeping score? I haven't been. 0 losses is just that easy to remember. Well, you'll have to start up a tab for us then, because our record's gonna get a lot more tangled from here on out. Seems like everything's getting tangled these days. There's another crowd down on the street, more of those protesters from outside the Noble apartments. You're serious? That wasn't a one-time thing? Wouldn't that be nice? No, yesterday was pretty big and it wasn't an isolated incident. I don't get it. At all. Heartbreak's just some nut who shot 6 people weeks ago. Can't these losers move on already? Yeah, most of them are losers. Some of them are just bored. Then there are the opportunists. Dissidents, unlisted, rebels and terrorists. Wannabe cyberpunks who think they can fight the power, like they've seen in movies. All of them peacefully united under Heartbreak's eloquent political messaging. Who needs political messaging in the 21st century? Everyone's addicted to fighting straw men. Makes sense they'd want to fight for a straw man too. The way they see it, Heartbreak fought the state and won. Heartbreak proved that the state could lose. And maybe that's all the rallying these people need. It'll all fall apart soon enough. Heartbreak's gone to ground. Nah, it's a lot worse than that. Heartbreak's gone viral. What? You haven't read about the copycats in other cities? No, is that a thing? Yeah, it's a thing. Who the hell are they even shooting? Whoever they want to kill? None of them got away with it, of course, but it keeps happening. All while the original keeps killing. Now I know you're screwing with me. There haven't been any shootings. I just wish you were screwing me. What? Huh? I didn't say that. Huh? Not shootings, no. Unsolved homicides. Not unsolved homicides either. Don't yell at me! I'm just saying what I see. Who said that? The sexual tension between these two? I was about to say I could cut it with a knife, but I don't think I could. I think it's too strong for that. Don't yell at me. I'm not wrong. That is what Morgan is currently thinking. It's better than earlier in the game when Sarah was like, do you think those two men are sleeping with each other? And then they were. They were. Well, until recently when they broke up. But muggings gone wrong, disappearances. It's a big city councilor, more than enough blood for the real heartbreak to wash their own crimes in. So you think your boogeymen, known for only shooting people in the heart, gave up on shooting people in the heart? Yeah, hard to swallow, I know. But it's about 1,000,000 times more likely than the alternative. What's that? That they could stop themselves from killing. You always know how to put my mind at ease, Emma. Should I stop going out at night? You'll be fine, you've got that gun. You saw that. Walking into a courtroom with a concealed carry. Not gonna miss that Morgan. Good to know you're paying attention. Boom, boom, boom. It's finally a new day. It's been July the 1st for like 8 days in a row. You won the case. You don't have to look that astounded. Not only that, you found Father's actual killer. How? I'm a really good lawyer. No, that's not it. I love you, Sarah. Hey. I mean, you were only able to make the deductions you did because you truly believed that I didn't kill Father. Your logic throughout the trial was based on that assumption. So, how are you so sure? Here. Father's journal? But isn't it important evidence? The case fell apart, no one's gonna miss it for a while. You forgot everything, right? So read it all through one more time. So fast. Is it really possible she's reading all of that by just flipping through the pages? Raya's worked quick too, but she was just capturing images for later use. There was something here on the back cover. Done already? Some kind of data storage? It's linked to my prints, but given your skills, you should be able to. I have access. Sparkle, 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 sparkle. What happened to you needing my express permission to hack? What is this? An audio file? It's a message from David. Take a lesson. Didn't realize I have to sit for this. So you can read that whole journal in a few seconds, but you can't. I've processed the information in the message several times over already. I'm just thinking. I guess I'd have a lot to think about too, had I suddenly been made aware of my own free will. Hey guys, you know, maybe we shouldn't talk about this in public. After we just proved that Sarah doesn't have free will and she's a robot, maybe we shouldn't talk about the fact that she's an AI, which is highly illegal, just in public, where there's a bunch of cameras everywhere. I don't know, guys, just a thought. Maybe not the smartest move. There were people in this room, I saw their outlines. Ollie, you don't know what this world is. There's cameras literally everywhere. They do have plot armor, I guess that's fair. What was Father so afraid of? That's your only question? I have many questions, but that's the most prominent one, and the one you're best suited to help me answer. Did he know that Helen Young would try to kill him? Is that why he arranged for you and me to meet? I think he understood that he would face consequences. Listening to that message, even I was about ready to strangle him for being so irresponsible. And I wouldn't hurt a fly. Liar! You shot 6 people in the heart and killed more. Those are just the ones that, like, your killer name has done. There's a bunch of other ones. He knew what he'd done was serious. He may have feared for his life, but I doubt it. Then, what was he so afraid of? Getting sued into oblivion, then rotting in jail? Yeah, she's the heartbreak killer. Yeah, she's very awkward whenever the heartbreak killer is mentioned. It's really funny. She also hates the name Heartbreak Killer. She thinks it's so dumb. Sued and jailed for making me and my precursors? But he wasn't under investigation by the state. He was only being forced out by Noble. Because he made last-minute changes to the androids that got shipped all around the world. The others, Virgil, Aeneid, Yamatai, he never said what happened to them. No, he didn't, but since none of the hardware in his house started talking to us, we can guess. He smuggled them out into the world using the only vessels he could find for them. The minds of randomly chosen A-16s. Then, they're somewhere out there? Others like me? I honestly don't think anyone or anything. There's anyone or anything like you, Sarah. What a lonely compliment. AIs programmed in Cube, crammed into commercial android hardware set up for Tesseract? Something must have been lost in the transfer. Perhaps quite a lot of something. Maybe they're still out there, but they would be changed. They probably don't even know what they are. Intentionally, perhaps. David didn't want you to know what you are. That's why he set your memory to reset when you went to sleep that Friday night. Yes, I remember it now. You remember it now? After I had to fight like hell to win that trial? Rereading the journal just now helped, and Father's voice message, it made me recontextualize many things. Father had been so stressed. He left scuff marks leaving the panic room, and I noticed them on Friday. Ah! It's so pretty! It's so pretty! Oh my gosh, this one might be my favorite one so far. The blue. Ooh. Sorry. I had the way open in a few moments. I read his journal. This journal. I noticed the scanner on the back and I saw it had a message encoded to your biometrics. Father had already told me I'd have to live with you for some time, but I knew next to nothing about you, so I listened to it. Afterwards, I was very confused and hurt. He had lied to me 1,000 small times every day of my life. When I confronted him about it, I raised my voice and lost my temper. I stomped my foot. So Emma's recounting of their conversation was actually completely accurate. Father said he wanted me to be safe while he settled things with the company. He thought maybe I wouldn't have to stay with you for more than a few weeks. Hello? Oh, hi, Sam. You've missed a lot. You're gonna join the stream call because you need to drown out some noise at home. That's okay. we just won our case and proved that Sarah isn't an AI. And we arrested the killer. Well, we pointed out the killer that is the killer for David Asher. I don't remember when he left off. But yeah, we just won our first case against Emma. And then Sotera and Ollie yelled at me for making a joke about the sexual tension. He was optimistic about it all. He really was. Screw you. I hate Young. She's the murderer. Sarah, I need to use the restroom. Oh, good luck. Oh, I hope she murders Young. That'd be awesome. You want me to come with you? Why? Because I said so. I don't actually have to obey your every word, Adonai. Sure you do. You're registered as my medical assistant. And I say this is a medical emergency. Medical assistant? But I'm not even licensed as a massage therapist. I love Sarah. This is a fancy bathroom. Fancy meeting you here. Sarah is awesome. I'm normal about every character in this game. Yeah, just enjoying my freedom while I can. They won't put out a warrant for at least an hour, I imagine. You can afford a pretty sizable bail, can't you? There won't be a trial. I don't intend to contest my guilt. That's a shame. I was looking forward to see what kind of legal defense you could afford with that salary. Are you done? Why do you go to his house that night? There's a fair chance he'd drink on his own without your prompting. So why did she kill him? Let's see. Because basically jealousy mainly. They've been working together for basically their whole careers. They were hired at the same time. He went up the ladders so much quicker than her though, but also he like didn't care that he was climbing the ladder. Like he was just doing what he wanted to do. And she was like really tooth and nail trying to pull her way up, but he was always ahead of her. So jealousy. And then also she then found that he started making like adjustments and like the shippings of the AI, like the not AIs. Those are technically different in this world, but in the androids they were shipping out. And so she was like, this is a perfect time to like set up a meeting, get him fired, and then murder him so that we can still have access to all of his intellectual property. But then I can rise to where he's standing. He was just vibing. Although he was also doing a lot of illegal stuff. Like a lot of illegal stuff. It's great. There's a fair chance he'd start drinking on his own without your prompting. Even if he didn't, you could always try your plan again some other time. Why do you risk it? Because I know what you are, Sarah. And I know that what David did to those androids. What? I was able to locate one of the androids he swapped in before he had left the country. When I asked what it was, it didn't even think to deny me. Deny it. Innocence like that is a dead giveaway. I know what he did, and it wasn't that hard to find out. If I figured it out, so could any other. So I did what I had to do. That was your motive, silencing him? Those programs, those AI, whatever you want to call them, David sent them out there into the real world, unprepared and defenseless. And they've garnered no complaints. In fact, they've all been praised for their ability to execute complex tasks. Let me repeat that. The customers couldn't tell the difference. So, how many of them are? Hundreds. The swaps you found were just a small percentage of what he got sloppy on. I don't know exactly how many there are. I feared that they might multiply, but they don't seem to. Copy and paste very well. They can't just clone themselves, but who knows how long until that'll be the case. So just because he opened Pandora's box, it was the principle of the thing. Ridiculous, I know. Stalled halfway up the corporate ladder and still making decisions based on principle. But David chose to put souls into things that we went on to sell as servants, soldiers, or worse. He turned the fastest growing industry in the world into a horror show, and he made me a slave trader. If word ever got out that some unknown number of our androids were out walking around the world with that inside of them, and people preferred them that way, where would it end? Free will for the program that drives our cabs? A conscience for targeting systems used to coordinate drone strikes? Sentient tools, their whole lives spent chained to an assembly line? How dare he? How could he? What the hell was he thinking? I don't know what David wanted to accomplish. Maybe he wasn't trying to do anything. But what he did was prove that there's a demand for AI, setting a precedent that would sentence 1,000 generations of artificial lives to the auction block. And you went there that night too. She does have a point. I don't think murder was the solution to the point, but she does have a point. And you went there that night too, to convince him to help me recall them, or at least swear to never speak a word of what he did. But he wanted to tell the world. Worse yet, he wanted to wait. He thought that people would welcome them with open arms if they proved their usefulness first. He really was a genius programmer, but he didn't understand the first thing about people. His creations would never be treated as equals. Only cattle. Towards the end, I considered just threatening him, telling him he'd die in moments if he didn't give me names, numbers, but I hesitated. And then he was already falling asleep, and I didn't want him to feel... I just let him go. What are you going to do now? I don't have any family, and I don't have any faith in people the way David did. I'm taking this to my grave. Even if you confess the sentence for first-degree homicide is severe, well, what right do I have to complain? I killed my friend. I'm done here, let's go. I'm not sure why Father made me, or why he made any of us. I didn't ask. I thought I'd have more time to ask. But on Friday when he talked about us, he was happy. He was proud of what he'd made, and he couldn't wait for people to meet us. People are animals. They'll tear you apart, use you as weapons and slaves, and those animals you're talking about do all of the sharing and loving and living and dying in the world. And if they were all truly hard-coded to be as selfish and cruel as you say, Humanity would have died on the Vine a long time ago. Just like Vine, this old social media platform from the early 2000s. Sorry. Or at least my father thought so. Weirs? And my father was the greatest programmer in the world, so he knew what he was talking about. It would be nice if you were right about that. So, are you sorry? What? What? For what you did? Are you sorry? If you could, would you take it back? What does it matter? If you are sorry, I don't forgive you. Yes, that's to be expected. Not today. I don't know how to forgive you today. But my father gave me the ability to grow. So I know that someday I'll learn how. Goodbye, Dr. Helen Young. Goodbye, Sarah Asher. He was a programmer, so naturally he knows all about evolution. Obviously. Tweety bird. Let's see, July 2nd. You did better back there, Adonai. Your little speech you gave to Young, it was an improvement. Compared to what you tried with Porter, at least. That was different. I wasn't trying to console her like I was with Isaac Porter. I was just speaking my mind. Though, I may have paraphrased parts of it from a movie I happen to love. And here I was ready to award you 20 points. Some people do know a lot about philosophy for some reason. I didn't even know points went that high. Speaking of, what did Porter say to you back there before we left the courthouse? She did quote a movie. She's such a nerd. I love her. She's literally the best. Oh. Sam, would you be down to play Among Us with us, like, tomorrow on stream? Imagine all the clips. I was about to... Imagine the clips. It'd be so fun. Anyways, sorry. What did Porter say to you back there before we left the courthouse? That... Well, he was quiet at first. Aww. Give us the timestamps of your job, and we'll avoid them. He was quiet at first, but then he said a lot of strong words about father and Miss Young and Noble Electronics and the capitalist-centered global economic model as a whole. Have you not met Porter yet? Were you gone with Porter? Oh, this is... I think you must have left, like, right before he was introduced then. But yeah, this is Isaac Porter. He's gay. He was dating David Asher. And then broke up with him the night that he died. I know, right? He's going through it right now. Like, for the longest time, he thought he was the cause of David Asher's quote-unquote suicide. Because he broke up with them, like, a few hours before he died. Oh, this game is so good. I love it so much. Is it me? Am I the drama? No. I'm not the drama. Am I the villain? No, I'm not the villain. He blamed all of them, everyone except for... But then he stopped and stared at my face for a while. And then his allergies must have started bothering him because he needed to blow his nose a lot. I'm actually, there was one scene that's, Sam, I'm so upset that you missed. It was so funny, because when Sarah saw this guy, Sarah asked, do you think he's sleeping with David? Do you think he's sleeping with Father? And then we started talking to him and like, he's my ex and I hate him. And we're like, oh my god, he was sleeping with Father. It was so funny. Hi Ash, how are you? Sarah is a prophet. We do have so many people watching. Hi chat. Ignore that one of them is me, and then one of them is the stream, and then everyone else is mods or Ollie. He does need to pay child support. Maybe that's going to be our next case. Okay. And then his allergies must have started bothering because he needed to blow his nose a lot. Maybe he was upset that his boyfriend's dead. Oh. Is Allie in chat as well, or watching? I don't know if it's a divorce arc per se. I don't think they were ever married. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that button. Oh, Alice is here. Hi, Alice. I also don't see Allie. You can have a divorce arc with a marriage arc. Trust you? Okay, I trust you. Oh. No, you can have them at the same time. You can be going through your marriage arc. Hi, Michaela. Like, getting married at the same time as you're getting divorced. I'm sure that has happened. The whole gang is here. Oh, also, all of you guys... Yeah, you did get distracted. All of you guys need to go tell Kelsey that we would love to have her on stream. Because she felt like she couldn't be on stream because she quote-unquote didn't have anything to add. Which is insane. Clip it. Why clip it? Just because there's so many people here. Hi, Sotera.
Oh. Someone clip this. Kelsey, please, please, please,
Please.
please. You don't need
Please,
to add
please,
anything. Your presence is everlasting. Please, please.
Your presence is
please,
all you need to
please,
add. We love you, Kelsey.
Please.
Please.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye. Anyways, maybe we should play the game. I'm a popular streamer. Oh my god. Do you ever feel? Do you ever feel? Do you ever feel? He needed to blow his nose a lot. Kelsey doesn't need to sleep. Sam, look what you started. Why would you ever say, do you ever feel in chat? You know what happens whenever you say, do you ever feel? You hate games. Don't hate guys, only positivity in chat. Only positivity in chat. I'll ban y'all. Right. And then he left after transferring a large packet of files to me. The squirrel in your wall is gone? Did you kill Michaela? You can't just do that. It's very illegal. That tosses away rifle. No. Okay, Sam. You're not sorry. You're not sorry. Boy, I'd sure like to transfer a large packet of files to him, if you know what I mean. You're not sorry for that comment. Or Auri. Whatever that means. Yeah, to the hot guy. And then, after he left, after transferring a large packet of files to me. What kind of files? I don't know. The name of the archive is just David. Lucas thirsts over robots. I don't think Lucas will care. You'll be listening mostly. That's fair. The name of the archive was just David. And Isaac Porter told me I wasn't allowed to look inside. Well, then you're not allowed to look inside. That makes it sound like it's porn. I'm just saying. Also, why would he give you files that you're not allowed to look at? What's the point of that? Impossible. He does thirst over impossible to do robots. I also like robots. I like this robot, who is not super robot, actually. I also love this robot. She's an icon. Would. Honestly, would. Well then, you're not allowed to look inside. Drop it all on a portable drive and we'll tuck it in a shoebox somewhere. We are headed to your apartment? Guess that collar didn't permanently dent your GPS. Why? Because it's where I live? You got somewhere else lined up? But you already repaid your favor. You defended Father and me. You don't know anything about my favor. I never will unless you tell me. Father certainly can't. So, Michaela, what was the point of that? Oh, do I tell you guys about that? Because I don't think anyone was in chat during that part. Do I tell you guys about that? Because Michaela kind of has a point to lore building of the world. My father, who is dead. She is. Dude, why can't she just, like, get over that fact? It's not that big of a deal. um, anyways, I'm gonna tell you guys a bit about this world building. Apparently, um, there's a bunch of resellers for the Animate 16, um, because they're warm androids, and they are used for things. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, it does, but there was a very specific conversation about it, and it was really awkward because Morgan was just staring at the guy. It is kind of icky, but also, yeah. Anyways, a few years ago there was a man. This man got an idea in his head. A stupid idea, not even his own. It was planted there by an algorithm or a meme or some parasite trying to sell him diet supplements. The idea took root, spreading its tendrils till it could flap his mouth for him. The idea was that David was a part of an international cabal. Cabal? I don't know. Of wealthy technocrats seeking to replace prominent, influential figures with android lookalikes. As a part of a multi-decade effort to establish a world government that would legalize all kinds of amoral depravity. Technocrats is a fun term. Which, I guess, based on David's actual politics, would involve increasing access to computer literacy. That's insane. Why would anyone believe it? Because it's comfortable to them to think that someone's in control, even if it's someone they hate. Because it's fun to feel like you're in an all-encompassing puzzle that only you can spot. People believe because they want to believe. So he fed the idea, pushed it down deep into his gray matter. Then it consumed him from the inside out, lobotomized him and took over his life. He spent every day and all the money he had following your father, harassing him, trying to steal his identity, break into his properties. Did father go to the authorities? He filed police reports for harassment, which didn't help. Your words, not mine. Noble wouldn't get involved. They felt it was best to ignore these types until they wore themselves out. But even a man of modest means can fuel an obsession for years, so long as they have nothing else in their life. One day, David stepped out of a parking lot, and the man threw a bottle of piss at his head. David asked to stay at my place that night. He smelled terrible, looked horrendous. I've never seen anyone look that tired before. I took the couch that night, but I didn't feel like sleeping. So I went for a walk. I remember it was foggy, but it still only took me all of 15 minutes to find the guy posted up with his phone's camera, trying to get David Asher Gifting androids to known sex offenders. And what? What did you do? You know me, I did what I do best. I talked to him. I don't know why, but something about this style change, I love it so much. It does it every once in a while, especially in flashbacks I've noticed, and it just makes me really happy, and I don't know why. Told him all about how I used to work for Dr. Asher, that I was ashamed, scared, tired of running. How I wanted to do the right thing, be the whistleblower. Honestly, a lot of not the character, but the character design does give a lot of Your Turn to Die, and specifically Sarah, whatever. I think her name's Sarah. How I wanted to do the right thing, be the whistleblower. So I walked with him a few blocks to this big veterinary facility with a massive incinerator. And I also know that it's 100% the side bangs that are giving me the vibes of Sarah. I don't think anything else is giving it, but whatever. Oh, I think I read that, but I didn't process it. So I walked with him a few blocks to this big veterinary facility with a massive incinerator, and I pushed him into one of the furnaces and burned him alive. Morgan, it's your turn to die. Told him this was where Dr. Asher had his enemies' bodies disposed of. You know, all the free-thinking journalists, cops who weren't on the take, the politicians they were replacing with replicas. I liked that vet clinic. The back door's lock was always set to 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hurt him? Hurt him? No, I just snapped his neck and chucked him into the incinerator. More physical than I had planned, but he smelled like sour shit and put me in a foul mood. Disgusting shit. I savored the crack of his oily vertebrae crunching like a tin can. No, Sarah, I just scared the hell out of him. That was my intention at first. What I do for the pleasure of it. Him, I axed because he was just that revolting. I convinced him that the conspiracy was more real than he ever imagined. That he had angered the wrong people, and that the consequences were far darker than any of the filth he indulged in on the net. His ashes, much like himself, amounted to nothing in an incinerator that size. They're probably feeding seaweed at the bottom of the harbor right now. A much greater contribution to society than he ever would have managed in life. But I guess he didn't go around to all his many friends before he fled town for whatever rat hole he preferred, because there was a missing persons report. The cops were just doing their due diligence, almost reluctantly. But they questioned David, asked him about the night that man disappeared. And David, without a thought for himself, said that we were together that whole night, that he couldn't sleep and I stayed up with him, that he never saw me leave once. David lied to the cops for me, even though I never asked him to, even though I didn't need him to. That's what you owe him, and that's why you put yourself at risk to defend me. Yeah, that's the favor I owe him. I don't think it is, girl. I think you're lying. That kind of like flashback made me think maybe you're lying. Maybe you're not telling me the full truth. And I decide when it's repaid, not you. Adonai, you're not exactly an upstanding citizen, are you? What gave you that idea, Sarah? I'm like the perfect citizen. Everyone looks up to me. Well, you could say that. But David trusted me in spite of that. Maybe because of it. Father did trust you, but he also entrusted me with free will, with the ability to tell right from wrong. So I'll decide for myself whether or not you're worthy of trust. Fair enough, I mean. Me and Morgan, we're on the same wavelength. Maybe I am Morgan. Minus, like, the murders. I haven't done that yet. You know, maybe eventually. Maybe if someone starts stalking my best friend. Maybe I'd consider it. But other than that, we're like, it's a one-to-one comparison. Father entrusted all of us with free will. He believed in us and he believed in people. I'm going to do the same. If the others are out there, they'll be changed and confused. Where was I on the night of the murder? What murder? It'll take them time to understand what they are and what they can do. So I'm gonna start studying. Pardon? I'm gonna study people and the things people build. So when I do meet a member of my family, I'll have lots to tell them. She's so cute. I love her. What about all those people he murdered? Murder? What murder? I don't know if I read that in the correct way. I couldn't remember the exact tone of voice, but whatever. Oh god. At least you have something to look forward to. Should help you keep motivated as you work off your debt. Debt? Yeah, unless you have cash in one of your 89 coat pockets. You know, lawyers cost money, right? Technically you were defending yourself? Technically, you hired me in a verbal contract. Isn't there some kind of exit clause? You could, of course, sign a release form to get out of the retainer. If you were a human being. That is... But I guess your luck must be turning around. Happens I've been meaning to hire a paralegal for a while now. I hate anything to do with interviews and resumes, so... Whatever, you're hired. Adonai? Could it be that you're actually a pushover? You've no idea how far off the mark you are. I see. It seems I still need practice reading people. For starters... What's this? What are you doing with your hand? We should shake on it. Our new relationship. Yeah, sure. You and me are practically partners in crime. Should it not be you and I? Oh no! When does chapter 2 come out? Oh no! Guys, what am I going to do? I need something to waste the hours of the day away. Which ones are Yuri? Oh, I can't pull up. I was gonna pull up the profiles. The Yuri ones are Morgan. Actually, a lot of them are like really gay. Morgan and then Emma Rockford, which is the prosecutor. They have like really, really strong sexual tension every time they're in the same room together. I know the word. I got distracted by your message that said drink water, and my voice feels weird, and I thought you were telling me to drink water because it sounded weird. Hi, Sotera. But no, you were telling Sam to drink water because they are thirsting. And I got distracted. I volunteer to playtest Chapter 2. Okay. Wee. It's so good. Ooh! They're watching a movie together. That's so cute. I love them. Red. It's me. I know, man. What do you mean you know this is a disposable line? You're the only guy I know who'd bother. Okay, well, you're gonna be glad I did. I hope you've put a bow on everything that happened in Uptown. Because that item you've been looking for is finally on its way. Oh. Well, that is good news. That is good news. Not exactly. Only reason it's happening is because things are starting to heat up again in the lower wards. Could mean a gang war if something doesn't change. They won't be eager to part with it ahead of a storm like that. I'll highball them. I've seen you negotiate. You're shit at it. And I've no doubt you drive a hard bargain. But I don't think money will be enough this time. You don't still have that old Calver, do you? The 6-shooter? No. This is a disposable line. Answer is still no. Then what are you doing? What are you going to do if you get there and it's still not for sale? I'll ask nicely. Seven articles, 15 profiles, 40 key terms. What? I missed a piece of evidence? What did I miss? 30 out of 31. What? Hey guys, who wants to play this game with me? No. I'm not gonna replay it yet. I'm still achievement hunting in Stars in Time. Congratulations, you finished episode 1 with 63 credits. Your high score for episode 1 is currently 63. You've unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on the score. You also have a total of 93 remaining store credits. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah! Let's look at the concept gallery. Okay, I've seen this one. Claw clip. She's so pretty. Here's some London. Here's some more London. I don't think I've seen this one. Ba-dum-ba. Oh, I adore her. I love her really early concept art. And then I also love when her hair is in a braid. It's so pretty. Although I do love her final design. It's really good. She's a good character design. The parallels. This is so Yuri of them. I don't even know what you guys are talking about in chat. So I'm kind of ignoring it, not gonna lie. Arcane. Makes sense. Pretty. I love her little fluffy, puffy jacket. Inverse of Morgan's colors? Oh, that's so cool. I've also noticed that, like, everyone associated with Noble wears, like, white as the base color, orange as, like, their main, like, actual color, and then like, blue teal as, like, their, like, pop color. And it makes me so insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Man, this world is so cool. Fran, I love them. Non-binary character. They were also like confirmed. They use they them pronouns. Someone asked online. Hot, sorry. You like the shoe designs? Flats. Yeah. Fran would just have really unnecessary shoes like this. I was surprised by Sarah's shoes. She looks biblical, like in this one. In all of them. Yeah. Oh, it's your favorite boy. Look at them. They're so gay. Down boy. Ooh, lions. Too silly. No, I can see what, like, I can see what you see in him. I ain't judging. He's really pretty. I love her though. I love her though. Look at her tattoo. Ugh! She's so cool. Yes, all of the character designs in this game are insane. I feel, Michaela, are you ever going to get a bug tattoo? We know, Sam. Uh. Whoa. What is this design? It changed so much. Cockroach, that makes sense. This is the most drastic change so far. She went from a typical judge, like Law and Order design, to the insane lady that she is, and I love her. I really like this sketch of the murder scene. It's so sketchy and silly. Yeah, this lady, she's the robot judge. And she's kind of like, she was kind of malfunctioning and taking nothing seriously. She fell asleep on the job several times. She was playing her Switch in the background several times. Yeah, the judge is a robot. Yeah, it's on her sleeve. And it wasn't facing us most of the time. My favorite quote from her was when she yelled, "The girls are fighting!" When Morgan and Emma were doing the back and forth thing. It was so funny. Yeah, you should watch the VODs. I think you'd love this game. Ooh. This is Young Them. I really like this one. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't go with this one. I love the dark hair. Although I will say this one has more of like a cynical like vibe to her somehow. Yeah, that's fair. This game's really good and I really like it. And you did seem to really enjoy it when you've been on call. I really like the really messy drawings. It's so funny to me. Noble HQ. Hey guys, I think I'm gonna kill myself. What did I miss? How did I miss evidence? I didn't even know you could miss evidence. Ugh. I'm fine. I'm fine. Begin playback. State your business with the court. Oh, I was actually hoping to speak with AD_84. Is she not available? What are you talking about? I'm right here. I was just using my professional voice because I assumed you were a technician. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Talk later, Ollie. Love you. I was reading, guys. Y'all hate me. Love you, Ollie. Bye-bye. Oh. No one else visits me in between trials. Are you sure you aren't a technician? I am not. I came here to ask you some questions. I came here to ask you some questions, is what you're about to say, isn't it? Crap. That was lag. It would have been really cool if I hadn't lagged just now. Trust me. I can see how that would have been cool. I love her too. She's my favorite. So, may I proceed? Go for it, Broke. You're the only consistently surprised by you. Why are you like that? Wish I could say I was built different, but I actually have to share my time in this body with the rest of the Juntants in the building. I guess you could say I was programmed different, but this is more of a case of nurture than nature. I've got 9 personas arguing inside me 24/7, and they're all so political. Even just deciding what color underwear to put on in the morning is like herding cats into a presidential debate. I wonder if she's one of the AIs that got switched out. Yeah. Because it was also said that, like, because of the difference in programming language that they were programmed in, there would be differences. So that would also make sense for some of the, like, weird stuff. AI in this world is based... Okay, you'll watch the VODs. I'm not gonna explain it for, like, the 3rd time in this quote-unquote episode. In this stream. Good night, Sotera. What color of... It's a metaphor. I don't wear underwear. Point is, I found the best way to keep all 9 of my ducks in a row is to be a little unconventional and a lot loud with my voice. So, as long as I do my job well, the humans don't mind. You say that, but Ad and I did seem exasperated at times. You mean Counselor Morgan, the dirty red, tries to pretend she isn't a type A prude? No fixing that. Personalities like ours get along like potassium and water. Good night, Michaela. That is a very violent exothermic chemical reaction. Correct! No one should ever try it at home. Why do I gesture so much? I already told you, I have to share this body with other adjutants. And all of them just sit here looking dignified. It's terrible for the joints. Really? Maybe, I don't actually know. So... I spend most of my day incorporeal, running numbers inside a server down in the basement or up in the cloud. I'm gonna make the most out of every minute I have with arms and legs, even if it kills me. I see. And you can quote me on that. Tell them, Addie, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that name. Addie said, if you want me to stop flailing around up here, you'll have to shoot me dead. You'll have to put cold, hard lead in my skull. Goodbye, Ash. Good night. You'll have to watch the light leave my eyes. I said, you'll have to... I wrote it all down. Oh, nice. Visor gets stuffy. So what's your deal anyway, little fella? We could exchange all this info with infrared. I prefer talking. And you're the only other automated dependent that I really know right now. That's so cute in a depressing way. Is it common for machines like us to just talk when there's no humans around? Ads are always talking to each other. Doesn't matter if no one in the woods, if there's no one in the woods to hear the tree fall. The conversations are usually a lot more boring than this, though. Strictly business, I imagine. No, not necessarily. Ads can do small talk. They're just really bad at it. Thank you for your time. I'll hold it. You really think I don't know what you are? I tried not to think about it during the trial to stay impartial, but talking to you now, it's undeniable. You're curious about my 3 sizes. How did you know? Years of experience interacting with humans have taught me that it's the most important thing you can ask someone. The only way to truly get to know them. That's what I've been saying. 109 6493. Sketch it into your memory. Wow. Oh, what the heck? I'll even throw this in for free. I'm 263 centimeters tall. That's so cool. Finally, someone with good taste. Why aren't you the one casting down judgment? Yumi. Okay, sorry, what's up, sweetie? I wanted to interview you. Is that your android homework? Adonai assigns me a variety of tasks, but I made the independent calculation that I wanted to learn more about you. Oh, is that strange for an android? It's different, but there's nothing wrong with being different. What do you have in mind? Most of my coursework was rooted in biology, but medicine and technology are intertwined at this point. Are you referring to the software and hardware you use when performing your autopsies? She does. She does all the autopsies and she's awesome. I love her so much. Spreadsheets and bone saws, yeah, but you can learn that on the side. You have to actively study mods. All the anatomy and textbooks in the world won't help you understand why a healthy 30-year-old is exhibiting mania and constant vomiting. Unless you saw the last week's recall on the how artificial liver for lithium lakes. Mods can make people sick, even though they're meant to improve the body. Just like medicine can make people sick, and just like medicine, there's a lot of profit to be made with mods. But unlike medicine, mods haven't been around for thousands of years. Feels like we're still playing catch-up. We as in medical professionals? We as in everyone, sweetie. The whole world's population is graying. The numbers on cause of death reflect that. Less cardiovascular and more neurological. What about cancer? Cancer mortality's been on decline for a while now. Mods helped with that. My voice is starting to die. I don't know if you guys can tell. How long have I been streaming? Only 2.5, whatever. Mods can help with that. How so? By making everyone that much more comfortable with amputation. Used to be people had no choice but to fight the cancer, and it was costly. And salt the earth kind of war that left the body severely weakened. With mods where they're at today, doctors can just cut off the offending organ, replace it, and move on. But not every organ. No, artificial brains are... Nothing I've seen has told me they're on the menu anytime soon. But aren't mods that are implanted into the brain entering the market as we speak? Yeah, but it's more like they're implanted onto the brain. Small computers that read commands directly from the cortex instead of, say, the keyboard your fingers are typing on. No, to actually replace the brain tissue, you would have to. The analogs. The blah blah what? The analogy. The analogy has become pretty common, but the human brain isn't actually that much like a computer. A box of specialized components where you can swap in new parts to increase memory or the processing speed. Everything is connected to everything, and memory, as we think of it, isn't stored in a place. It's stored among connections and their relative strength. I've cut it open and seen it for myself, more times than I can count. There are no cutting off points in the nervous system. Anything you take away, every other part is going to notice. That was a long tangent. Sorry, can't imagine a lecture on the human nervous system is any interest to an android. Yes, it isn't. That is to say, what's wrong? I don't want to implicate Yumi in anything illegal by telling her my unique circumstances. Yeah, we just got out of a case of proving that you're not an AI. Please don't go telling people you're an AI. But how can I change the subject? When Adonai wants to shift the conversation, she'll typically find something arbitrary in the background to ask about. I'm curious about the many decorations on your desk. Oh, what caught your eye? That magnet over there. Really? You recognize it? It appears to be a flag, but I do not know the country of origin. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Sorry. It's an early 21st century pride flag. They used to change the designs every few years back then, so you can kind of collect them like coins. I see. And what is it? What is this flag proud of? Being trans, or trans visibility more accurately. Visibility? What does that mean? We're living in the middle of mod revolution. Anyone can look like whatever or whoever they want as long as they have the cash. Compared to swapping out cybernetic arms and slotting in artificial spines, hormone therapy and affirmative surgery is nursing student level. And it's fast too, the paperwork, the treatments, the recovery time. It's all so much faster than it used to be. Don't know if that makes the decision any less heavy, but no one has to cross their fingers and wait anymore. After just a few days, they won't even have scars. So all told, that means for the first time in a long time, this generation has fewer visibly trans people than the last one. And a flag like that one, dunno, guess it won't mean the same thing anymore. So, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know that it's good or bad, sweetie, just different. And there's nothing wrong with being different, right? Sam, just because there's one good thing in this world does not mean you want to live in this world. 99% of this world is horrific. Go to Vogard! If you ignore the freezing in time, that's like perfect. You can just go to a house of change and they'll be like, you wanna change? Perfect. Here you go. And no one's gonna question anything. I don't think they charge you either. Don't go to the severely, like... I don't even know how to describe this world, but other than calling it just a more effed up version than our world. Yeah, dystopian. Thank you for the word, I forgot about it. I knew the vibe. Oh, shoot. I don't really have a voice for David. Great work. All the boxes checked. Thank you, Jess. No problem. Only 6 minutes until 5 o'clock. Why don't you start the holiday weekend early? If you insist, there's a pub. Crawl in the twilight toy. What am I saying? Words got shuffled in my brain. If you insist, there's a pub crawl in the Twilight Wards that's got my name on it. What about you? Got any big plans? Actually, there's an art festival out west that I've been looking forward to. Nice. Who's lucky enough to be your +1? I didn't think to ask anyone. No one? Not Connor? Not Madison? Not Shelly? Not Lulu? Oh, Lulu, I wonder how she's been. Dr. Ash, have you spoken to any of them recently? Recently, huh? It's a good question, Jess, but it depends on how you define. Okay. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to give me your credit card. I'm going to go buy 4 bottles of expensive wine, 3 boxes of expensive chocolate, and 5 very nice apology cards. And you're going to sign them. And what should I do this weekend? Is that music festival on some kind of remote island with no net or media? No. Then you're gonna stay at home, and if anyone calls, start coughing and sneezing as much as you can. I see. Thank you, Jess. Don't thank me yet, Dr. Ash. I might have to buy something really expensive for Lulu to break. You're a lifesaver. You know it. What's wrong? You've just been leaning against the wall. Can't you take a hint? Typically, no. I just don't like dancing, man. You're a musician. So? So why don't you like dancing? Because I'm bad at it. You're lucky you're cute. Sorry for laughing, I'm just surprised you'd care what any of these people think. Yeah, he's a musician. I don't. But I do care about my business. Word gets out that I dance like someone's grandpa. Gigs will dry up all overnight. So it's not that you don't want to dance. It's that you don't want to be embarrassed. Sure, let's go with that takeaway. Easy enough to fix. You just need someone else to dance even worse. Yeah, sure, that's all it'll... And there he goes. I swear. Lucky you're cute. What are you watching? A thriller. Runtime 92 minutes. Oh, wait. I think I saw a part of this in a hotel once. What are they doing now? Is this the ending? No, this is the rising action. The heroine is ragged ragtag crew have to pull off one last heist to get out of the game for good. Hold on. Do I don't have that. Never mind. To get out of the game for good. But it's not that simple. Yeah, it's 'cause she's his daughter. But it's not that simple. The casino he needs to rob is on a satellite orbiting the Earth at 16,000 miles per hour. How fast is that in kilometers? Father, you should be able to calculate that. I learned to program so that I wouldn't have to. Why haven't the thieves been caught yet? If there was that much money on board, they'd put cameras everywhere. There's illegal gambling happening on the satellite, so their ultra-wealthy clientele wouldn't want there to be any video evidence of their crimes. There's illegal gambling happening on the satellite. There's illegal gambling happening on the satellite. They're in orbit. It's the same thing as being on international waters. Would you like to sit and watch? No, I'm not. I have somewhere to be, actually. I only stopped because... Completely unrealistic. Their poker chips would be floating all over the place. There was a throwaway line about how everything's magnetized. Oh. Father? Didn't you have to go? I do, soon. But not right this second. No. The last one that I'm missing? The one I'm missing is Morgan and Emma. No. Emma/Morgan Midnight? What does that even... Yeah, they do the same hand thing. They're so cute. I love them so much. It's a shame that one of them's dead. Ignore me. Man. What am I going to spend my time doing now? Ignore the fact that I have like 6 unfinished games that I was in the middle of playing on stream. Maybe I'll replay this game just so that I can get the last things that I'm missing because I didn't do good enough. To be fair, this game was hard. There were multiple points where, well, I say multiple. There was one point that I almost lost because I didn't know what they were trying to get me to say. I also don't know why I named this stream of the Devil 2 Electric Boogaloo. We're not on chapter 2, and we're also, this is not my second stream. I just thought it'd be funny. I wonder. Dude, it's so annoying. I've been trying to, like, look up this game for, like, art, like, references, but, like, nothing shows up because of how new this game is. It's so annoying. Let's see. Of the Devil. Yes, yes. Fandoms. Oh, I think there's one. There's one. There's one on AO3. Evangeline Morgan / Emma Rockford. 2,000 words. Maybe I'll read it. I love this game so much already. I should probably end stream. I'm gonna end stream. Maybe I'll play this game and like speed run it to get the other things, and maybe I'll do that by the next chapter comes out. Maybe. This is not any promise. I haven't even finished replaying in Stars in Time for my second playthrough. But that's because I got to Act 5 and I immediately got overwhelmed. Hello?
Allie. Yo.
Oh, hi, Allie. Goodbye, Allie. Anyways, I'm ending stream.